Hello and welcome. Today on BOI Weekly, Bank of Industry and other stakeholders support third edition of the Fashion Souk. The biannual event is a melting pot of everything about the Nigerian and by extension African fashion, organized by Eventful Nigeria, an indigenous event planning business. The fair features thousands of players in the entire fashion value chain, from manufacturers to retailers in clothing, bags, footwear, millinery, jewelry, lingerie, and accessories. The impact of the fair on the local fashion industry has remained phenomenal. That's why the Bank of Industry has continued to scale up its support. We have details in just a moment. Stay close.
The current value of the global fashion industry stands at $3 trillion, accounting for 2% of the world's gross domestic product. Of this amount, the women's wear industry rakes in $621 billion, while the men's wear takes $402 billion US. Africa's fashion is not passive in the mix, as the global demand and discussion on Africa-inspired clothing has led to tremendous boost in sales and recognition for some of the continent's designers and brands. The quality and uniqueness of their works and passion have caught the attention of the world, attracting some appreciable revenue. The African fashion industry is currently worth $31 billion US.
To experience our next fashion show, come on down to the runway for our...
The Bank of Industry cannot ignore these facts and figures coming out of the fashion industry, knowing full well that there are talented and business-savvy entrepreneurs in Nigeria ready to take on the world. That's why BOI is collaborating with like-minded stakeholders and financial institutions to support the Fashion Souk. The first installment of the 2019 edition of Fashion Souk is happening here at Harbour Point, Victoria Island, Lagos. Organized by Eventful Nigeria Limited, an indigenous event planning business who are also holders of the food and beauty souks. The third edition of the Fashion Souk is a niche fair for everything fashion. Talk about clothes, shoes, accessories and everything in between for all classes of people, men, women, children, young and old. The event attracts fashion enthusiasts and entrepreneurs alike, featuring thousands of players in the entire fashion value chain, from manufacturers to retailers in clothing, bags, footwear, millinery, jewelry, lingerie and other accessories, all produced by creative Nigerian designers and retailers.
First Bank is giving out vouchers here today.
More than a fair, the carnival hosts well over 140 stall vendors who've got inspiring, unique and classic products on display and for the runway. Succeeding in the fashion industry requires a significant measure of creativity and innovation, and players in the industry must combine impeccable and authentic design with utility and enterprise, because consumers have now become more discerning. Like fashion from other regions of the world that have enjoyed global acceptance, African designs must reflect a fluid combination of native arts, culture, history and other intrinsic elements to keep them unique without compromising quality. Undoubtedly, all these core elements are lavishly at play here at the Fashion Souk. From the designers to the models, beauticians, makeup artists, producers, textile designers, manufacturers and the event organizers.
It's a creative space, and I think an average Nigerian is creative, and for any event to even start and continue, it simply means that there are people who are not only benefiting, but their life, to a large extent depends on, that arrangement and that ecosystem. So fashion, in fashion space, you have different experts. You have the tailors, you have the designers, you have, the marketers, you have the PR people, you have the camera people. You have a lot of, it's a chain. And I'm glad that at least people are feeding and, people are getting inspired and the whole ecosystem is benefiting. So I think it's something that should continue.
The fashion industry in Nigeria is so huge. I'm very proud to be part of it because the designers are doing a phenomenal job. I've been watching the runway and it's just breathtaking. And I'm proud to be one of the pioneer brands for kids brands. Most people, it is an emerging market for us because most people don't want to go into kids fashion designing because they think there's no so much money in the business. But I choose to differ because in every family we have at least 2 kids, so we will represent a very large percentage of the revenue coming to the fashion industry. So the kids brand industry as well is really huge and people need to tap into it. I'm happy to be part of it.
I think these sort of events are important because you're going out there. Sometimes people have heard about your brand, they want to buy a pair, but Lagos is busy, there's traffic, people work, there's all sorts. So sometimes you can't make it to the store. So I think it's important to do these events every once in a while so you go out to your customer. You also meet new customers because there are people who may not have heard about you, but they can discover your brand and from there you keep growing. So I think it's important to go out and just always continue to push yourself out there, push your brand out there and increase your customer base.
Aside from finding the whole setup quite impressive, the obviously proud participants are not oblivious of the unflinching support from the banking industry.
Well, I must confess I'm a bit biased because personally in my own business, Bank of Industry has been very supportive in giving us, a platform both to exhibit in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. So, and I see this being replicated with so many other brands that I know of. So I think Bank of Industry is really doing a good job in bringing Nigerian indigenous brands to the fore and helping them to scale up on their businesses to be able to meet their objectives.
With a population of between 180 and 200 million, depending on who's counting, the fashion e-commerce industry in Nigeria is still underserved, a weak match for the growing internet users in the country. This exhibitor has decided to leverage on technology to boost sales.
What I'm actually trying to do is move towards a lot more towards the digital space. I found that most of my customers, 95% of our sales come from online purchases. My client base can shop while they're at work, on their phone, on Instagram, on a website, 2 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon versus walking into a store. So this is good because you're exposed to so many people who wouldn't ordinarily know about you. But my focus is really on trying to make my business as e-commerce friendly as possible.
It's access to new markets. You're meeting new people, reconnecting with people that you've probably lost contact with, collaborating. You meet people in the industry that you could collaborate with. So it's an awesome ground. Bringing everybody together is fantastic because I could see another brand that I could work with, and I could see people that I could work with, other industry faithfuls, maybe stylists, photographers will be at this event. So it's a very good networking ground for everybody, whatever level that you're on. And it's also good for sales. I mean, we're selling our things and we're making money, but that's not the only thing. We're networking, we're building contacts, and we're making money.
It is extremely important. The kind of connections we've made here, the people we've met, even within our industry, we've made, I would say we've made friends. We've met a lot of new customers that didn't know about us. We're only 2.5 months old. So this Souk has been amazing. We love the exposure. We love meeting our customers, getting feedback from our customers. We can't be happier. It's great.
The rising African fashion ecosystem supports brands run by very young entrepreneurs. 37% of the continent's population are millennials, and 70% of the sub-Saharan African population is under the age of 30, making it the world's most youthful continent. What's more, this demography displays a surprising level of sophistication and growing spending power, contributing to the steadily growing per capita income that drives the emergence of consumer markets on the continent. The Fashion Souk recognizes these young fire brands. That's why they chose to support some of them with grants for working capital and equipment in the business pitch competition.
This kind of platform is very encouraging because a lot of young adults hoping to start their own business have the problem of funds, of getting funds. So something like this will really encourage them that they can do a lot. So with this kind of platform, more platforms like this, people will be encouraged to start their own business and venture into things they never even imagined they could do. So I feel it's a very wonderful platform, and I also want to thank the Bank of Industry and First Bank for this wonderful platform.
Yeah, this support is very much, very large. It's great. I really appreciate it because it's taking us a really great step forward. And an issue with entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs in Nigeria, is the issue of financing and starting up. But with these grants, it's a step higher, and it's really taking us great places. So I'm encouraging other young entrepreneurs to take opportunity of grants like this and use it to put in their best so that they can push their business forward.
The Bank of Industry support will be able to upscale our production, and their mentoring will be able to help our business thrive better, and we're able to learn other business skills which will help in the growth of our business.
Obviously glad with the turnout and success of the event, the convener, Mrs. Yewande Zacchaeus, wraps it all up and thanks the supporters.
I think it's gone very well indeed. You can see the place is full, the runway shows have been excellent, the vendors are all selling, and the guests are having an amazing time. So I think it's gone very well. You know, we just gave out the prizes for those who won the business pitch. So we gave them an opportunity. We've given them cash grants for them to be able to scale up, buy equipment, maybe rent another, some larger office space. So of course it impacts them. And then for those of them who have stalls, they're able to meet an audience, a target audience that they would probably never meet if they were staying in their stalls. So it's a win-win because everybody says they want to support entrepreneurs. But this is a classic example. First Bank and BOI have shown that they're supporting an entrepreneur, because my company, Eventful, is I'm an entrepreneur. I have put this show together, and then the 140 other entrepreneurs who have stalls. So you've been able to reach so many people, and I think it's a fantastic thing.
At a separate setting, the woman at the center of it all, MD CEO Eventful Nigeria Limited, Yewande Zacchaeus, explains why it was important to create the Fashion Souk experience.
It was meant to be an annual event, just like fashion and beauty were, like food and beauty were. But you know, the response was phenomenal. We just couldn't even believe it. People loved that very first outing. And I think it's because a lot of people don't have a platform. A lot of the entrepreneurs don't really have a platform where they can showcase their goods. Many of them are online. Many of them are maybe in remote locations. They're not on the, in the key areas, the key shopping areas. So for the vendors, it was just an amazing opportunity to come into one space. And then of course, for the guests, it was like having a high street of fashion, everything fashion under one roof. The response was phenomenal. So instead of it being an annual event, people pressured us, both the guests and the vendors kept calling us that you have to do one before Christmas. And that's how we now had Fashion Souk #2 in December last year. It tells me that there's still there's a great demand for what the people in the fashion industry are doing, because we're looking at the entire fashion value chain. So we had manufacturers, retailers, we had people in all the different categories. So clearly there's a great demand. But what I've learned even more with planning for this third one is that there's just not enough platforms for people to get their wares out. We had almost 400 applications for just 140 stores. We had to turn back over 250 people. We had to close our registration portal that were sold out. And I felt so bad about that because there were so many people who really wanted to be on that platform. So it shows me, first of all, that there's a huge market. And secondly, that there's just not enough avenues for people to really showcase their talents and their creativity right now in the country.
She's also got a suggestion for the government on how it can phenomenally expand the fashion industry.
I think maybe we need to have hubs. I think maybe if the government can create like fashion hubs in different states, where every state or every major city has like a mini, I think a hub is what I can call it, where people, from the people who are doing pattern cutting, the people who are doing the sewing, the people who are retailing, can all be there, so that anybody that wants anything to do with fashion, especially in the made in Nigeria space, knows that this is where I go for that, so that it's not just limited to these almost epileptic shows that are put on by various organizations or other entrepreneurs or other individuals, because it seems that right now that's what all the entrepreneurs are waiting for, an opportunity to be able to go there. And you see, they're able to come into contact with a target audience that they may never have met. They're able to scale up their business. Somebody's, and what we're trying to do now is even getting people who are interested in maybe exporting these goods and services, people who are interested in helping businesses scale up. So it's more than just coming to buy or sell your goods. It's just about expanding your coast, enlarging your horizons, and honestly, the low-hanging fruits are so numerous for vendors and guests alike. And I think for anybody who's interested in fashion as a business, you'll know that this is where you can come and you'll see all you want to see in fashion. And then another very important thing, we curate very carefully, so it's not just an all-comers. Like, first of all, a lot of people who are in fashion tend to work in Ankara, so we have to limit the number of people who are doing Ankara. We have some people who are in Ashoke. As you can see, I'm wearing an Ashoke outfit today. Thank you. We have people in batik in Nigeria, so we just try to make sure that we don't have a preponderance of too many of anything. So we make sure we have just enough people in the shoes, in the bags, we have the people in jewelry, we have artisans, and because it's not totally a made in Nigeria affair, we do still have people who are retailing, who are selling things, their designs that maybe are made from abroad. So there's something for everybody, and I think that for me is one of the compelling reasons why people just really the popularity has amazed even myself as an individual.
But wait a minute. But what was the vision when she started out?
My vision when I started creating the Souks was I thought, I'm one of the, if not the pioneer in the event planning business in this country. And for 16, 17 years, I'd been doing other people's events. And then I now realized that it's time for me to actually begin to create my own events. And, obviously, I started with food and drink because that's what I do. Whether I'm doing corporate events or social events, food and drink is always an element, and I deal with so many people in that space. And then it was out of interest we went into beauty, because somebody suggested that, why don't you look at the beauty industry? And that has gone on so well. We've done 3 beauty souks now. And the next thing it was like, oh, why don't you do fashion? And at first I said, look, there are enough people in fashion, I don't need to go there. But the pressure was so much, and it was from people in the industry. Because you see, what we are essentially, we're event planners. So mine is about giving a first-class event. But along the way, as an entrepreneur, I've become so passionate about these souks because I have seen the difference it makes in the lives of the young entrepreneurs and even the established ones that come. People have all come back with great testimonies of how it has affected their business, how somebody who took their card now came and gave them an order, how, just so many incredible things and so many doors opening for people that it's a win-win for everybody at the end of the day.
The average Nigerian young entrepreneur is very passionate. Neither can you ignore the energy they bring to bear in what they do.
What we do is that we give an opportunity for those who are just total startups, who haven't even got a shop or anything yet, but who are interested and passionate about what they're doing. So we ask them, upload a video, a 1-minute video on Instagram, and tell us why you should partner. Why you should be selected to be part of the business pitch. And with the help of the sponsors, like you're able to offer us money that we can give them for grants, to give them for training. And that has been so rewarding because we get, like this year, we got almost 50 applications on this. And you look at these videos and you're like, my goodness, this little girl is doing this just in little one room in her parents' house, or this guy is doing this. We've got entries from Kano, from Bayelsa, from all over the Western state. People are hungry to get out what they're doing. People are looking for opportunities to be able to scale up. And then we have industry icons come to the business pitches, as well as individuals from your bank and our other sponsors. And we look at the top 10 and we decide on the top 3 and we give them equipment grants and training. That for me has been another area that I really want to focus on. And I'm hoping that with the help of the sponsors, we can expand so that we can reach more people. So it's not just the top 10, because when you have 50 really talented people and you can only really help 10 of them, it's a bit sad. So I want an opportunity a situation where, yes, 3 people may get the prizes, but we can actually train up to 20, 30 of them, because a lot of them have passion, but they don't have much knowledge. What we find is that they're passionate about what they're doing, but they don't really have the knowledge about the financials, about the marketing, about all those kind of things that they need to do to grow their business. So for me, apart from the buying and selling, that's another very important part that I want to develop, and it's a real passion for me. Bank and Industry, first of all, you have a fashion fund, so we're looking to you to really assist us in particularly those who win the business pitches, to help them with funding for their business. Then training, of course, as I've said, training is so critical. A lot of them need the training. So for us, I think that that's where you can really be of support. You have already been a support, but we want to scale it up. We want to know that, so that the people, in fact, some of them still came and said, oh, I need 1.5 million. We don't have 1.5 million to give right now, but we're hoping that as Bank of Industry sees the sustainability of what we're doing, they'll be able to increase the amount they give to us, so we're able to empower people more. But you'll be amazed, 250,000 can change the life of a young entrepreneur. 250,000 just to get an extra, pay for an extra room, or to buy that extra sewing machine so they can, serve more customers. It makes a difference, and every little thing counts. So for me, I find that I started this all because I wanted to just expand the coast of my business, but I am being sucked into something that is much more than that, and it's something that I can see that I really want to take to as high a level as I can, to encourage and help entrepreneurs. We first of all to say a huge thank you. Thank you for the support of women, and thank you for the support of entrepreneurs. And we want to say that as you see us making sure that each edition is bigger and better, we want you to stay with us so that we can together scale up and really help the entrepreneurs in this country.
Aside from supporting special events like this every once in a while, the Bank of Industry has a number of dedicated funds targeted at specifically women, fashion designers, and players in the entertainment industry. Contact the Bank of Industry today to know how you can benefit from these interventions. Visit their website at boi.ng or call at any of their branches closest to you. That will be our package for today. Many thanks for watching. But remember, you can apply for BOI loans online. Just download the BOI SME loan app from the Google Play Store and follow the instructions. For further inquiries or information, feel free to tweet at me at KAY Alayande. Previous editions of the program are all available on YouTube. All you have to do is type BOI Weekly in the search area, and there you go. I'm Kayode Alayande. Bye now.